Get a gun and shoot everyone. Hey guys, it's Monty. Welcome back to my channel, and today's video is a collab with Jasmine Johnson. I'm really excited to be working with her. She's super sweet and her content is amazing. So be sure you check out her video, which is also going to be a junior advice video, and I will have her channel linked down in the description. So let's go ahead and get started. I asked you guys on Instagram if there were any specific questions you had or school advice that you wanted, and I'll be addressing those first before moving into my own personal tips. The first question is motivation to do work on time. So I did make a video on time management tips, which I think would be a good resource to go further in depth on this, but I would say you just have to think at it from a logical perspective with the stress factor. And I know people where this just doesn't work and they're just naturally a procrastinator, but if you want to stop trying to be a procrastinator, I think it needs to be like some intrinsic motivation to not want to deal with the stress, because that's probably why you don't want to procrastinate anymore, is because you just get stressed about doing it. Again, I have lots of tips in the time management video, but I would say the biggest one is just going to be like do work as you get it, and understand that by doing that you're going to be less stressed in the long run if you do a little bit each day instead of waiting to do all 10 hours of it 10 hours before it's due. But I don't really know of a surefire way to cure that except for you've got to want it. The next one is they're saying they do not learn anything until exams come. At least I think that's what they're trying to ask. So if you're wanting to learn progressively through the course, which is the goal of any course, then I would say you want to start studying a little bit every day for it. So some classes make this easier than others. What I mean by that is if you have homework every single night in a class, you're probably going to hate it. But in the long run, you're going to be learning a lot more and you'll feel a lot more prepared for the final exam than if you never do any work in the class and you feel like you're going to be cramming towards the end. But a class could not fall into one of those categories. A good example of that would be AP Psychology. I know I personally put in a decent amount of work into that class, but I still felt like I was cramming at the end for the AP exam. So with that, I wish that I had started preparing a little bit earlier for it and doing like a little bit every day instead of waiting until like the last week before the exam to start really caring about studying. And honestly, you'll feel better, it won't feel as stressful, and you should do better on your finals. The next one is very similar to the first, and that is how do I stay on track with my schoolwork. I guess they're talking about me personally. So personally, I like to do work as I get it and plan ahead. So I do this a few ways by I keep a planner with me at all times at school, and whenever teachers mention due dates or upcoming work, I'll go ahead and write it down. And then when I get home, I transfer it into my bullet journal, and then I look at time slots and when I'm going to have time to work on it versus when it's due, and use some prioritization, which I talk about in my time management video. And that honestly helps me stay on top of it. I do things as they come along, a little bit at a time, making sure that I'm on track to complete the assignment on time, and I keep track of those dates with planners. Get a gun and shoot everyone. Well, that'll work for all of about 30 seconds until you're arrested with felonies. So I would think about that one before attempting, and honestly just wouldn't attempt. Now I'm going to be moving on to my personal tips. So my first one is to use your counselors and advisors to your advantage. They're there to help you, and I know that they might not really seem like they do a lot, but I would just take advantage of them. They're there to help. Honestly, the way that I have used them the most is asking them which options are the best. So they're going to know if this class or this class is going to be better for you, if this option or this option for your upcoming summer is going to be best for you. And if you're an upcoming junior, this would be good for you when you're scheduling your classes. If you are currently a junior, then this will be good for you for your summer options. But honestly, just any grade level, taking advantage of them for that. and they've helped me personally with this. The best way for them to give you good advice though is if you have some sort of idea on where you want to go or what you want to do. But even if you don't, they're still a great resource. I have several friends who don't know where they want to go or what they want to do, and the counselors are still very helpful to them, like saying, okay, well, why don't you try this class if you have a slight interest in this, or oh, I noticed you're in this club, maybe you should try this class. It's kind of similar concepts, and they can be helpful, they can also not be helpful. Just kind of take it or leave it. Okay, this one is for anyone in high school, but particularly juniors. And as you start thinking about college, you don't have to know where you want to go or what you want to do for this, but just start looking around at some options. Do you know if you want to go far away, if you want to stay close to home? What are some good universities in your state? Maybe you want to go out of state. If so, what part of the country? Just start looking at that because by the end of the summer after your junior year, you're going to want to know where you want to apply and what you want to apply for, and you kind of can't know that if you don't start doing some research. Just making sure you're doing some research. The next tip is to continue to stay well-rounded, stay up to date with your extracurriculars. It's very easy to get overwhelmed with the workload your junior year, but it's great to still keep in with those extracurriculars, staying in clubs, after-school activities, sports organizations are going to be great ways to maintain a good resume. And finally, understand you're going to have to make some compromises. So you may not be able to do everything that you want to do or feel like you need to do, but that is okay. You need to understand what's most important to you and stick with that, because it's going to be much better in the long run if you dedicate yourself fully to a few activities instead of spreading yourself too thin. And again, if you have questions on which activities you can cut because you feel like you need to make some cuts, talk to your advisors and guidance counselors. They can tell you which ones you should stay in. If you can't make that decision for yourself, I would encourage you to try and make that decision for yourself before being like, which one's more important for college? It should be which one's more important to you first, but understand if neither one of them are like that important or they're both really important to you, then either try and find a way to make it work or talk to a counselor about which one they think would be better for you to stay in. And those are going to be all of my junior year / high school tips. If you guys liked it, be sure you give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any more questions. I'll be glad to answer them to the best of my ability. And be sure you subscribe and have the bell turned on so you can be part of the #M&M squad. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!